Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the channel, and we are back reacting to your hot takes on Twitter. This week, I specifically asked y'all for hot takes going into the next NBA season. There were a lot of submissions. Obviously, I can only pick from so many. But yeah, y'all had some hot takes from me, man. Y'all had some hot takes from me, and we have a lot of things to cover in this video. But before we get going, what is good, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the channel, hosted by your boy B Souls. As you can see, I am pinked out today. Just got my new Miami Heat hat, you know what I'm saying? Gotta match the fit. Gotta match the fit. Also, I literally drove like 2 hours last week just to get hoodies so I can wear more stuff in the videos aside from my big three. So leave a like on this video for that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to keep up to date with my latest uploads, and follow me on Twitter if y'all want to see your takes be featured in a future iteration of this series. But with that being said, let's go over the first tweet of this video, the title of this video, the thumbnail of this video, coming from my man Hoodie, and he says that the Golden State Warriors won't be as good as people think. They're gonna be a playoff team, but not true contenders. And he wasn't the only one to reply with that sentiment in this tweet, but I'm gonna have to disagree. While I do believe the playing field is more competitive in the Western Conference, specifically because the Golden State Warriors don't have Kevin Durant anymore, Steph Curry and Clay and Dre are getting a little bit older, and there's teams like the Lakers and the Clippers and the Nuggets in the West compared to what it was in 2015 and 2016. I don't believe they'll be as dominant as they were back then, but I just think the NBA community as a whole has really forgotten how good Steph Curry is, how good Clay is, how good of a team this was when they were fully healthy. And you know, I get it, right? It's been pretty much a year and a half since the Golden State Warriors have been true contenders, and it's been a while since we've seen them be good. But it wasn't too long ago when Stephen Curry was pretty much unanimously considered a top 3 player in the league. Klay Thompson is one of the best shooters of all time. He is one of the best two-way players in the league. You can plug him into any system and he will flourish. And I think Draymond Green is not a player who's going to do good on trash teams, but when he's on a good team, he can be a very valuable piece. They also have that number 2, number 3 overall draft pick in this year's draft, and they can get someone like a James Wiseman who can really contribute to a team out the gate, I believe, at least. Or they can even trade that piece and add more stars to this team. They have a great coach in Steve Kerr. Now, I do believe, you know, specifically compare them to the Lakers, I would favor the Lakers over the Golden State Warriors simply for the fact of the mismatch that LeBron and AD provide against the Warriors. But I really do think the Golden State Warriors are going to come back and remind everyone who the f they are. They're gonna do that. The next tweet we got is from Sac Watching, and he says that if the Rockets keep Harden and Westbrook, the offense has to run through Russell Westbrook if they want any playoff success. I'm gonna have to disagree because, one, I don't really see the big difference between running an offense through James Harden and Russell Westbrook, aside from the fact that if you run it through James Harden, you're gonna have Russell Westbrook as a secondary piece, a piece that can't shoot. So get the thought that if you run the offense through Westbrook, then you're gonna have a shooter that you can pass to in James Harden. I get that. But the fact that you said they had to run it through Westbrook if they want any playoff success, I just don't get that sentiment. Because I do get that there's differences in running it through Harden and through Westbrook, but I don't think it's a big enough gap to say that they're going to improve or that they're going to go deeper in the playoffs if they ran it through Westbrook. The next tweet we got is from Nia D Ninja, and he says that the 2020 Miami Heat are better than the 91 Lakers, the 92 Blazers, the 97 and 98 Jazz teams. And I know what type of fan you are. It's pretty clear when you bring up literally teams that Michael Jordan went up against, and that's pretty much it. To some degree, you really do have to be a good team to make it to the NBA Finals, especially this Miami Heat squad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're scrubs. They were a good team. But honestly, I really don't see where you're coming from. I really do think this is just a tweet you wanted to say just to say that LeBron faced better competition than Jordan. And while yes, the Miami Heat did come back and make it interesting, let's not flip the script here, man. Let's not flip the script. There have been teams like the 95 Magic who were really good, but then faced Hakeem in the finals and got swept. And there's also teams like the 2015 Cavs who, once they got to the finals, to be honest, they had no business of even competing with the Golden State Warriors, but yet because of LeBron's greatness, they stole 2 games. But no one's out here running around and saying that the 2015 Cavs without Kyrie and K Love are better than the Orlando Magic with Shaq and Penny when they were good. No one's doing that. Next tweet we got is from Julio Plata, and he says that Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton are the next unstoppable duo. And just to remember that this is a hot take. Now, honestly, I respect it, man. I respect it. The whole point of the series is to give y'all an outlet, to give y'all a safe space to say what you really feel, even though it might be irrational, even though it's just a gut feeling, you know what I'm saying? This is what this series is meant for. Now, I guess my question is, what do you define as unstoppable? Because skill-wise, they might be one of the deadliest duos in the league. And I really do think DeAndre Ayton is one of the most slept on players in the NBA. I really do think that. He was in the draft with Luka and Trey, and they've been pretty much 30-point per game scorers in year 2. And I really do think they have a chance to be a really good duo in the NBA. But when you say unstoppable, I'm thinking you're comparing it to the field. And when you say unstoppable in that sense, I really do think other teams can game plan properly for a Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton duo. Next tweet we got is from RugVED. I don't some of y'all Twitter names I can't, but he says LeBron has 7 more years left at the top level. And I'm gonna be honest, bro, I don't blame you. Look, man, this dude was supposed to be washed up in 2014. Mind you, since 2014, I have gone through high school, I have gone through 2 years of college, I am halfway through my fall semester of junior year, and this man is still considered the best in the league at age, what, 35, 36, year 17? I don't blame you. But what you're saying here is that he's going to be at the top of the league, near the top of the league in year 21, 22 as a 41, 42-year-old. And look, bro, I'm going to keep it a buck. Links will be in the description for the pod, you know what I'm saying? If LeBron James is still a top 3, top 4, top 5 player 7 years from this video, that's the greatest of all time. That I don't care if he wins 1 more ring within that time span and never catches that 6, that elusive number 6. If LeBron is a top 5 player 7 years from now, if LeBron is a top 5 player 4 or 5 years from now, I'm saying he's the GOAT. I don't Jesus Christ, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. The next tweet we got is from my boy Sean Bonday, and he says that John Wall will come back and have his best season of his career and will lead the Wizards to a top 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. I'm gonna have to disagree. I don't think he'll come back and have his best season. I really do think people forget his 2017 season because of what happened in the playoffs, and just for the fact that he hasn't really played a lot of basketball since due to injuries. But in the 2017 season, this man was a killer. He was averaging what, 22 points a game, 10 assists, 4 or 5 rebounds a game. He was one of the most well-rounded players in the league, and the speed and athleticism this guy had and his passing ability was just insane. It was insane. Like, I kid you not, everyone I talked to, obviously the MVP race was between Westbrook and Harden, but I would legit have conversations with people about if John Wall was better than Russell Westbrook as a player. Like, he was that good. That's not a diss on Westbrook. That's just how good John Wall was that year. And look, I'm really hoping for the best for John Wall. I really am. But if that is his best season thus far, and what you're saying is he's going to come back and average 20, 22 points, 10 assists, 4 or 5 rebounds a game off of 2 years of injuries pretty much, I don't see it. But again, it's a hot take. This is why we do this, baby. The next tweet we got is from Adrian Gonzalez, and he says that the Dallas Mavericks are gonna go to the Western Conference Finals but lose to the Lakers in 6 games. Now, I'm gonna have to disagree because I personally have teams like the Lakers and the Clippers and the Warriors making it to the Western Conference Finals before the Dallas Mavericks, or at least, you know, off the top of my head, I would put them above the Dallas Mavericks going into next season. But look, I just want to go on record, go on camera and just say that this man Luka, I think there's a possibility that midway through the next season he'll be considered a top 5 player in this league. And I think going into next year he's going to be one of those players that you're going to be like, okay, I get you, but Luka is good enough to win you a series. The next tweet we got is from Captain Cam, and he says that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to make it to the second round in the playoffs, and Karl Anthony Towns will finish top 5 in MVP voting. Now, honestly, I don't want to disagree or agree right now because I haven't looked at the full list of teams in the Western Conference yet and how I think they will go in and perform going into next season, so I don't want to agree or disagree, but I do want to just raise awareness. You know what I'm saying? Just point out that I really do think we need to put more pressure on the Timberwolves. If this team flops, I know for a fact Twitter's going to bring up that clip of Karl Anthony Towns literally greeting D'Lo coming off the flight and looking all happy and really excited that he finally got help. And that's my thing, is that for the past 2-3 years, it's always been, Jimmy Butler's a cancer. But Cat, he's playing with Wiggins. He doesn't really have any star help. But Cat's in the Western Conference, which again I get. But now he has a star. He's playing with a star in D'Angelo Russell, not just any star. Because we can have situations like where Kyrie gets traded to the Celtics and it just doesn't mesh well. We can have those situations, but Karl Anthony Towns specifically wanted D'Lo because they have that connection, and he got him. So because of how talented the Western Conference is, I do see a reality where the Minnesota Timberwolves still miss the playoffs, right? This is the Western Conference we're talking about in one of the most talented eras of all time. So if they're in the race for the 8th seed and because of injuries, they miss the playoffs by, 3-4 games, maybe even less, cool, right? But if y'all go into next season and win 30 games and be this trash ass team again like y'all are every single year, eyes are on Karl Anthony Towns. Not just in the perspective of, yo, he might request a trade despite getting D'Lo, but also in the sense that, man, Karl Anthony Towns, bro, you be putting up the stats, but you got to get the job done. You got to start winning games. You got to start leading your team to more wins. That has to start at some point for Karl Anthony Towns, bro. That has to. The last take I want to cover in this video is by your boy Rocky. Like that's literally his name. And he says that the Oklahoma City Thunder will make it out the first round but get swept in the second round. And again, I don't even want to agree. I don't even want to disagree. But I do just want to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder a little bit because this team was a really good team last year. They exceeded a lot of our expectations, and once the playoffs ended, we really realized how good of a team this was. This was a very deep team. They had good leadership. They were very versatile. They were well coached. They vibed well together. But then in a matter of an offseason, Billy Donovan's gone. Chris Paul is in a lot of trade rumors. Danilo Gallinari looks like he's leaving. So it just seemed like last year was just a bunch of dudes that really made the best of the situation, you know what I'm saying? They didn't want to be the worst team in the league like everyone expected them to be. But going into next season, I don't know if they can repeat the same thing. They really might just go down like we expected them to be, which some of y'all might say, oh, but y'all said this last year, B-Souls. That's the whole point. Thunder up, you know what I'm saying? And I get that. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but this team could look very different next year, and it's not going to be the same squad. It's not going to be the same squad. It's not going to be the same culture, and that'll be a drastic difference. But again, we'll see. But that's going to be it for this video. Once again, follow me on Twitter if y'all want to see your takes, your hot takes be in a future iteration of this video. Leave a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But I am out. Peace. Let's go.